Let's jump right into this explainer and demystify exactly how lower criminal courts operate. You constantly hear terms like the CRPC, the Criminal Procedure Code, thrown around in the news, and it can honestly feel like a total maze of legal jargon. But today, we're going to break it all down. We're looking at the exact, step-by-step judicial proceedings that dictate how a magistrate handles an offense, from the very first complaint all the way to the final gavel strike.
Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll meet the magistrate court. Then, walk through the pretrial steps, look at the actual trial procedure, review the rights of the accused, and finally, cover verdicts and the golden rule.
So what actually is a trial before a magistrate? Simply put, it's a judicial proceeding where a magistrate tries minor offenses, and occasionally some more serious ones, in a summary way. The ultimate goal here is swift justice according to the law. We're not talking about those massive, drawn-out, dramatic affairs you see in courtroom movies. These proceedings are explicitly designed for efficiency.
All right, part 1. Meet the magistrate court, jurisdiction and scope. Let's figure out who is actually sitting on the bench.
To get our bearings, take a look at this procedural map. It's essentially a master blueprint of the entire legal process we're navigating today. You've got the jurisdiction on the left, the core 7-step procedure right in the middle, and the judgment possibilities over on the right. I know it looks a bit complex right now, but I promise by the end of this explainer, you'll be reading this like a simple flowchart.
So who wields the gavel? There are 3 main types of magistrates to know about, each with specific jurisdictional powers. First up, we have the Judicial Magistrate First Class, or JMFC. They can handle all standard magistrate offenses, plus a few serious ones if they get special permission. Then you've got the Judicial Magistrate Second Class, or JMSC, whose scope is strictly capped at standard minor offenses. And finally, the Metropolitan Magistrate. Their power is basically identical to the JMFC, but they operate specifically within designated metropolitan areas.
The absolute key takeaway here is the division of labor. Magistrate courts are built to handle minor offenses, leaving the really heavy-duty serious crimes for the Sessions Court. As a general rule of thumb, if an offense is punishable by up to 3 years, it belongs in a magistrate's court. Sure, with special permission, they can sometimes handle up to 7-year offenses, but basically, minor offenses equal the magistrate, highly serious ones equal the Sessions Court.
Moving right along to part 2, the pretrial steps, from complaint to appearance.
Let's ground this in a real-world scenario. Imagine person A complains that person B assaulted them. How does the system kick into gear? Well, step 1 is the initial complaint or police report being filed. Step 2 is taking cognizance. This is a crucial legal step where the magistrate formally applies their mind to the offense, basically saying, yep, we have a valid case here. Step 3 is issuing the process, which usually means sending a summons or a bailable warrant to person B. And step 4 is the actual appearance of the accused in court. The gears of justice are officially turning.
Which brings us to part 3, the trial procedure, charges, evidence, and arguments.
Okay, so person B is physically standing in the courtroom. Now, we hit the core of the trial. Step 5 is framing the charge. If the magistrate sees sufficient grounds, a formal charge is drafted and read out loud. Next is step 6, recording of evidence. This all happens under oath. The prosecution goes first to try and prove guilt, and then the defense gets to present their side to counter it. Finally, we reach step 7, the arguments, where lawyers from both sides deliver their closing legal statements.
Let's shift gears to part 4, rights of the accused, ensuring a fair process.
Throughout this entire ordeal, it's absolutely vital to remember that person B has some serious legal armor. To keep things fair, the accused has the absolute right to be clearly informed of the charges, the right to a lawyer, and the right to cross-examine any witnesses brought against them. They can also adduce or introduce their own defense evidence. And underlying the whole shebang is the bedrock of criminal law, the presumption of innocence. You are innocent until proven guilty.
But hey, the magistrate isn't just passively watching this happen. They are the active director of this trial, holding significant procedural powers. They can issue warrants, summon witnesses directly, demand specific documents, or adjourn the hearing entirely if they need to. Plus, under Section 342, the magistrate has the power to formally record the official statement of the accused. They run the room.
And finally, we arrive at part 5, verdicts and the golden rule.
After all the evidence is in and the final arguments are made, it's time for a judgment. The 2 main outcomes here, conviction
or acquittal. A conviction means guilt was definitively proven, and the magistrate will hand down a sentence. An acquittal means guilt was not proven, and the accused walks free, completely cleared. There's also a third scenario called a discharge, which can happen much earlier in the process if the magistrate decides there isn't even enough evidence to warrant a trial in the first place.
All right, quick pop quiz for you. Let's see what stuck from earlier. Based on the jurisdictional division of labor we talked about, what is the maximum punishment for offenses tried by a magistrate as a general rule? Is it A, 1 year, B, 3 years, C, 7 years, or D, 14 years? Take a second.
And the correct answer is B, 3 years. If you got that, you're totally tracking with how this system is built. While there are those rare special permissions for 7-year offenses, the 3-year mark is the general rule that keeps the magistrate courts moving quickly, pushing the life sentence or 14-year crimes up to the sessions court where they belong.
We're going to leave you with this golden rule. The magistrate court ensures quick, summary, and simple justice for minor offenses. That's the whole point. This entire complex procedure we just mapped out exists for one reason: to ensure that these cases are handled swiftly, effectively, and fairly. So next time you see a headline about a local trial, look past the drama and ask yourself, in our legal system, is swift justice truly the fairest justice of all? Thanks for hanging out with us for this explainer,